As far as I'm concerned, YouTube is not blocked. See, I mean, here's another thing about this. I mean, you can ban YouTube. All I have to do is Google how to bypass YouTube block. I will find 100 ways to do it.
Just to give you some statistics, when the YouTube ban was implemented, we had about 142,000 views in the 2 weeks which followed. The 2 weeks after that, we had over 200,000 views. So essentially, this ban it's just working to clamp down on a few select Pakistanis. The rest are finding ways around it.
People are always going to be much savvier than, you know, a bunch of people sitting at PTA blocking website after website after website. How are you going to block websites at 10,000? You know, तुम कितने website बंद करोगे? घर से website निकलेगी ना?
If you go to alexa.com and just see where the top sites being visited in Pakistan currently, YouTube has slipped from perhaps its third position to 8th, but it's still there. And more significantly, there are a lot of proxy websites which are now creeping into the top 100. What this means essentially is that traffic has not deferred. Everyone's still going to YouTube. They're just using proxies to get there. Of course not. I mean, the very aim of this ban was to stop Pakistanis from accessing blasphemous content or the anti-Islam videos specifically. It has completely failed in that respect, so why implement it? It's a waste of money, it's a waste of resources, it's very simple to get around. So basically, the only reason it was implemented was to give in to what a certain select group of extremists wanted to have through the courts and the government.
Here we're sitting in Karachi right now. It's a city of about 18 million, okay? There are mosques, there are schools, there are hospitals. There are also brothels, there are also gambling dens, there are also places where you can buy your heroin and shoot yourself up and lay right there in your drug-induced haze, okay? Now, if I don't want to go to the brothel, I don't have to go to the brothel, okay? This does not mean that you seal off all entrances to Karachi and say, because of this brothel, we've banned this whole city. That is, in one word, retarded.
Well, I personally don't think Pakistan has a civil society, or the civil society we have is so weak and in such small numbers that it can have very little impact, especially when it comes to issues connected to religion, which is basically what has been done in this case.
What civil society are we talking about? Were we talking about 20 people on Twitter? And this is not defined civil society to me. And secondly, I mean, nobody's going to come out and hold a candlelight vigil in front of some press club saying, you know, YouTube ko bahal karo, YouTube ko jeene do. That's not going to happen either. And also, I mean, we as a society, civil or uncivil as the case may be, have already been through so much trauma, and we really haven't come out against it. To expect people to come out in force against a YouTube ban, I mean, it's not going to happen, not in my lifetime.
The greatest trouble we've seen with this blasphemy law and the ban which has occurred because of it is that citizens' rights have been impinged. You have a right to express yourself online via YouTube, and you have a right to freedom of information, which is again accessible through YouTube. And yes, both those rights have been infringed upon, and if we had cybercrime laws, perhaps this could be a part of it.
A significant part of many people's life is now spent on cyberspace, and just like you would regulate public space, cyberspace as well needs to be regulated.
Simply put, you cannot ban things online. That's just not how the internet works. Because, for example, if you are banning one blasphemy video and you're banning YouTube, well, what's the point? Vimeo or Dailymotion, which are now also being visited by Pakistanis, also host blasphemous content, and that video specifically, why not target them? In fact, why not target the whole internet? Because if you think about it, Google, Bing, even Wikipedia will give you access to blasphemous content. So either you decide that you shut down the entire internet or launch Pakistan Net, similar to what Iran is trying to do, or you come to terms with living in a global society and actually, rolling with the punches.
I mean, as cliched as it is to say this, you know, a ban is not the answer. You should just educate people, you know. I mean, if I want to go and search for porn, I'm going to go search for porn no matter what you do, you know. If you want to teach me that, you know, maybe that's not such a good thing to do, that would be more effective. I mean, cutting supply hardly ever works, whether when you're dealing with drugs or when you're dealing with weapons. It's demand that needs to be curbed. If the demand is curbed, the supply dries up as a natural consequence.